It's not an I've got box, but I'm just holding this pose for the thumbnail, okay? Anyway, so first of all, I'll read. So first of all, that's sort of the blur. Fully compatible with all the cards you currently own. Except not really. Not all the cards I currently own, no. Some it's actually not fully compatible. I'll actually have you know. Oh, for God's sake. I was going to keep this box intact, you know. Game. So you get beginner's guide. Yeet. I don't need no beginner's guide, I'm not a noob. Yeah, a nice playmat, which would look even nicer if it wasn't made of freaking paper. Which just has Mr. Yuya and Perform Powerful Light Hand Magician on it. But no link monster zones, which means, for general terms, for players that play now, yeet. Useless. No link monster zones. So people are going to complain at me in the comments, but Jack, that's not very nice thing to say. Think about the people who don't play Link's format. For those people, I say, good on you. It's probably the best idea you could have ever come up with. Screw Link's format, because Links are terrible. Anyway. In this structure deck, you acquire one Sleight of Hand Magician, which you can special summon this card from your hand by attributing one 4-power monster, except a pendulum monster. Once per turn, you can discard one the target has basis of a card on the field, destroy it. It's a 2/500 level 7. 7, yes. Which isn't bad, because you can use an odd eye stuff, because it's level 7. It's a light spellcaster, which means you can do things with it with light spellcasters. And you can special summon it by attributing perform powers, which means it's really easy to summon. It's also, and also that special summon effect isn't once per turn. So you can have, if you have three of this card in your hand, you could theoretically summon all 3 of them. Also, and it's once per turn, and it's once per turn on its other effect isn't hard OPT. So if you have 3 of this card in your hand, you could theoretically tribute a sleight of hand to summon a sleight of hand to activate the effect again. But why would you want to do that? That sounds like a bit of a reach. Anyway, it's not amazing because its effect targets, and yeah. Now, I'm spending much time on this because it's like the poster card of the set, which I believe you can only get in the structure deck, hence why I'm talking about it a lot. Next, we have one copy of King Bear, which is level 6, scale 7. This card is activated this turn in the pendulum zone. You destroy this card. If you do, add a level 7 monster, higher monster move deck to your hand. The 2 hands is either in your graveyard or face in your extra deck. So, you can add Sleight of Hand from grave, or you could add something that's in your pendulums, your extra deck. So, decent. This card can destroy by spell trap effects while face attack positions. It's monster's zone effect. Gains 100 attack for each 4-power monster you control during the battle phase only. Is it me, or does this look like a bear, like remind me of a bear version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame? I mean the Disney version, not the creepy real version. Kind of does. The crown thing that's the end of the first movie. I don't know, spoilers for a movie that's almost as old as I am. And then one £1 Mummon Carpet. Pet the small cat. We always pet the small cats, because cats are adorable. Unless you have a card near the pendulum zone, destroy this card. When all those cards in your pendulum zone, any battle damage you take becomes halved. Flip effect, you can set one card, target one set card on the field, destroy it. If this card is special, you can change to face down defense. So, it's basically an easier to summon Ghost Trick, technically. Which one was the one that destroyed when it sounds? One of them does. No, it doesn't. I'm getting this wrong. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a flip effect monster for every animals. Don't matter. What does matter is that it halves battle damage and it's a scale 7. And then we have one copy of Para Trio. Once per turn, if you control a 4-power magician odd eye card in your other pendulum zone, which you do because of in this deck or in any deck you use it in, because unless you're using a perform power or odd eyes deck, There is no reason to be running odd eyes or pendulums, except main odd eyes because it searches, and that's literally it. Except for Pal Character, you can make this card scale become 7th of the turn. It's a scale 2. So I guess it's technically either scale for the purpose of. So it's really useful in terms of versatility. If you, say, have a scale 2 in hand and you're like, oh, well, I can't pendulum because it's a scale 2 as well. No, it's fine, it's a performance pal, I'm made to switch scale 7. When this card is destroyed a battle, you can special summon 1 performance pal monster from your deck, except the pendulum. It's a level 3, so you could, in theory, constantly spam this by continuing pendulum summoning it. And the last holo you get is Perform Power Long Phone Bull. Can I just say that is amazing? Its horns are a literal old telephone, like an old-fashioned one. I wonder what the reception's like. Can you imagine that, having a phone on your head for all eternity? Hello, yes. Yes, I'm currently in a meeting. Yes, I can't come and pet the corgis, Miss Queen Elizabeth. I'm afraid, Your Royal Highness. I'm afraid I'm currently I'm currently a monster in a children's card game. Apologies. Puts phone down. Can you imagine calls again? And it's only from the rich and famous people making bot dials or accidental calls to the wrong number. It's never a genuine call. I don't know where this is going. But anyway, if this card is special summoned, it's a performance pal, it's probably going to be special summoned. You can add 1 performance pal monster from your deck to your hand, except the pendulum. You can only use the effect of performance pal long phone ball once per turn. It's a hard OPT, but it does search, but not a pendulum. What are you searching with this? Because if you're running performance pals properly, which you are, except in this deck apparently, there shouldn't be a monster in your deck, performance pal, that isn't a pendulum. Which includes this. Anyway, you get Swing Cobra, Teeter Totter Hopper. I'm not going to explain all this. Yeah, Odd Eyes, which is useful. Time Gazer and Stargazer and Time Gazer, which are terrible. Remove them from the deck immediately because they're crap. I'm kidding. I kid you not, they're the worst magicians. I get it that it's Yuya's deck from the anime, or a version thereof, but Time Gazer and Stargazer are terrible. Drummerilla, which is alright. Second Donkey, which is probably... Hippo, remove it, it's terrible. Furcorp's Cannon, which is decent because it's a generic. And it's a normal monster, which means you have your versatility with it. Archfiend Eccentric, which is probably the best card in the entire deck, I kid you not. Because it's a scale 3 that looks adorable. You can tribute this card type on monster in the field, destroy it. It tributes, so it works well with the other deck. Target once, and when it's in the thingy, you can target a spell card on the field, destroy both it and this card. In the pendulum scale. So it's an MST, essentially, that goes to the extra deck and stuff like that. Yeah. June Warwolf, it's alright, but it's not really necessary. Beast King Barbaros, nice powerful monster, which is level 8 though, so you can't pendulum summon it. Pitch Black Warwolf, Dragon Dowser is not so bad. It's special summons pendulums, I guess. Giant Rat, because reasons. Performer Power Dramatic Theatre, which is like the main card, with the main spell card. Monsters you control gain 2 to attack for each monster you control the different type. Which, there's a lot of different types in Form Power, so if we say including linked format, that can total 1,200 attack gain for each monster. Which means that, say for example you have Sleight of Hand in the field, that Sleight of Hand Magician is going to be at 3,700 strong. The other effect, of course, is once per turn, if you control 4 perform power monsters of different types, you special more highest monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Spoiler alert, that includes fusions. And synchros. And other stuff. Though you wouldn't summon an XYZ one with it. because you just wouldn't. You get Smile World. All face monsters in the field currently going to attack which monster currently on the field till the end of the turn. Not too bad, although there are better cards. Hippo Carnival because reasons. Draw Muscle because reasons. MST, probably one of the better cards. Lightning Vortex, yeet. We have Dark Hole now and Regeki, so it's not necessary. Book of Moon, still limited, I think. Lucky Iron X, not. Don't Variety. Considering Link monsters and XYZ monsters exist, even XYZ monsters existed at the time of this deck, Burn Mighty suddenly becomes less useful. Sorry about that. But yeah, because XYZ is unaffected by it, and Link's unaffected by it, and to be honest, it's only 100 attack per level. So, unless it's like level 8 or higher, it's not really doing much. It did in the day, but not anymore. Yeah, Backup Rider, which is not great. Form Battle Showdown, which is probably the main trap. Target any number of face-up monsters your opponent controls, up to the number of face-up spell cards you control, change the monster to face-down defense. Which, if you've got Form of Power Pendulums, that's 2. And if you've got Filter Spell, that's 3. So you can change up to 3 monsters to face-down defense. On average. Perform Power Pinch Helper. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can negate that attack, especially summon a power monster with deck expect negated. And when attack is declared, if all monsters you control, the opponent's monster in the card to the graveyard, you take no damage from that battle. So, not too bad. And I'd say kind of decent, to be fair. Well, Disruption is not a bad card. Ceasefire is quite hilarious. I think it's still limited to 1. Regeki Break is now power creep to heck. Draining Shield. Threatening Roar is amazing, even now. Dark Bribe is quite good, although giving your opponent draws. Chaos Burst is terrible, although it does work in Lair of Darkness, I guess. Because you could, I mean, theoretically, with the Lair of Darkness deck, you could tribute one of your opponent's monsters, and then destroy their attacking monster as well. It's like, lol, fuck you. Pendulum Reborn. Special summon face a Pendulum monster from your extra deck, or when Pendulum monsters from your graveyard. Quite good, because if there's Pendulum monsters in your graveyard that are wasted, then you can summon that for free. Although it's a trap. And then you get, of course, 3 Hippo tokens. Nothing in the extra deck, because there's so much stuff from the extra deck in a Pendulum deck anyway. But the whole premise of this is to mainly teach people how to play, not how to play well. So you basically, the whole extra deck exercise is do it your flipping self, loser. So all in all, it's quite decent to learn how to play the game, especially with Pendulum format. Would I say it's good in general? No. It's not competitive in any slight lapse of the imagination. But if you're wanting to build a Perform Pal deck, it's a good start. Although, to be fair, if you've bought packs already, you've probably got enough Perform Pals to make a decent deck out of them anyway, because Perform Pals have had so many prints, and have had so many different members to their archetype, that there is really no difficulty in getting any of them anymore. But I suppose this is a good start, and if you really want to use Sleight of Hand Magician or you wanted a hollow version of any of the other ones, because there's no other real reason to get them, because you can get other versions of them, except Sleight of Hand. Well, I think even Sleight of Hand now you can get a Primer, I don't know. But anyway, there is no real reason to get this. Because, you know, most of the cards you can get from it are easy to get hold of, and the amount of generics you get are very few. But you get tokens, and this was cheap, so I bought it. What can you do? Anyway, guys, this was my brief review of the starter deck Yuya. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be deconstructing this, I think, to build my better Pendulum deck out of it, for Perform Pals at least. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay signing off. Don't forget to like and stuffs.